ये standard normal variant that is related from the area portion of this. So minus is somewhere here. This is 1.25 minus. तो हमको पता है that will have its value starting from this more than this. More than this, it can go up to positive infinity. So obviously, this portion of whole half right hand side portion of 0.5 will be taken over by this. And this is just given as probability of z is greater than or equal to 0. तो अब यहाँ से यहाँ कितना है calculate? But it is symmetric one. In the table, it is given for positive value is 1, the value for negative value.
I think I am audible to everyone.
This portion,
Okay. So in last class we have already discussed this probability random processes. Then their distribution function, then density function,
so
mean function.
from 0 to minus 2.5 will be equal
So we will see there is another way to describe the or write the distribution function or the cumulative distribution function of the random process. Like some author use this notation.
this is same with this. How we
So consider this, we are assuming this xt is a random process where t belongs to small t belongs to the some index set of capital J, which is a times index set capital J. And we know that for fixed t equals to t1, x to t1 is a random variable. And its distribution function is given by this, that x random variable xt1 with less than equals to x1 gives the distribution function of the random variable xt1, and it is denoted by f suffix capital xt1 and x1 is the variable. Earlier when we are having only this random variable, it is only x. Since here we are having for every time instant we are having xt1, xt2 and xt like many random variables, so we have specified variables also like for x1 for xt1, x2 for xt2, like this. So this is one way to write the distribution function for the random variable xt1, and it is always the probability of xt1 is less than equal to x1, and it is denoted by some author by this notation fx. X1 is the variable of the t1 is the for time. T1 actually we understood that xt1 is the random variable and small x1 is the value taken by the random variable xt1. So this is another notation. Okay. Then this is actually we are having here only one random variable for t1, so it's like a first order distribution of xt. Similarly, given any two different time instants like t1 and t2, xt2 and xt1 represent two random variable. And when we have more than one random variable, then we can define their joint distribution is known as the second order distribution for the random process xt, where t belongs to the time index at capital J. So the second order joint distribution function is written by like this. Earlier also, like here we are having x, here we are having y. So instead of x, y, here we are having xt1 as a random variable and xt2 as a random variable. And small x1 and small x2 are the values taken by these random variable xt1 and xt2. And it is always the intersection of these two events. xt1 is less than equals to small x1 and xt2 is less than intersection. This comma stands for intersection. xt2 is less than equals to xt2, and some author is represented through this notation fx. X1, it means it is a values taken by the random variable xt1. X2 is the value taken by the random variable xt2, and where this x is representing the random process x, and that these time instant will tell us the t1 we are having one random variable xt1, and for t2 we have another random variable, and this x1 is the value taken by xt1, and x2 is the value taken by the xt2. Similarly, we can define another distribution also for the random process xt, like we are having n time instance like t1, t2, tn, then their joint distribution function can be denoted by this fxt1, xt2, comma, dot, 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 comma, xtn. And these are the value taken by the random variable xt1, xt2, and like xtn. And it is the intersection of these arguments like xt1 less than equals to small x1, comma, x less than equal to capital X, t2 less than equal to x2, dot, 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 xtn less than equal to xn. And in some notebooks you will find this notation. So you also try to remember this notation also, because I will use that book. Okay. So f x x1 x2 xn dot t1 dot comma dot 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 tn. So it means the random process is x, and for time instant t1 one random variable is xt1, and it is taking the values x1 kind. Similarly, tn is another time instant, and xtn is a random variable is taking value xn. Okay. So this is another notation. We have talked about the same thing. So now the concept of random processes. So as you know earlier, when we are having two random variable like x and y, and we know that we say that x and y are independent if their distribution joint distribution function is equal to the product of their distributions. So here in case of like if we are having n random variable like x1, x2, xn, and we say that these n random variables are independent if their joint distribution function is equals to the product of their distribution functions. So similarly, we can have the independent random processes also. So suppose there is one random process xt, t belongs to j, another random process yt, t belongs to j dash. So here j is one time index and j dash is another time index. Okay. So maybe one is discrete, one is continuous, like this. It can be. So, but we are having these two random processes. So here we have the word for all. So for all T1, T2, Tm, like you select m time instances from J and n time instances from J dash, and you have marked dash on each of them so that these are different from these. Maybe same also, but they are not. We are not taking same. It may be same. It may be different also. So we are having this like, and this m and n are also not fixed. This can m can be anything, and this m can be anything. So like m goes 1, 2, 3 up to whatever time stamps are available in this capital J. Similarly in this capital J dash. So if we are having these kind of m instances of time in J and these kind of n instances of time in J dash, then we know that is for if because this is from J and x is a xt is a random process. So xt1, xt2, xtn are the random variable. Similarly, yt1 dash, yt2 dash, and ytn dash is another random variable. So here you have one set of random variable. Here you have another set of random variable. So when these two set of random variable are independent, then we can say that there is a random process xt and yt are independent. So we'll see how these two sets of random variable are independent. So this is how we write giant distribution function. Like this is one set of random variables, this is another set of random variable, and then we have written there joint distribution function. So this is are the values are taken by this first set of random variable. These are the values taken by the second set of random variable. So if this joint distribution function is equal to the product of this and this, then we say that our random process xt and yt are independent. So once we know that the random processes are independent, and we take any two time instant t1 from j and t2 from j dash, then the covariance between xt1 and xt1 and yt2 is actually 0. And if this is true for all T1 and T2, T1 belongs to for all T1 belongs to capital J, and for all T2 belongs to capital J. So this is the way we define the independent of random processes. You can generalize this concept to more number of processes. Like this is one set of x, the next is y. If you take one z, and then you can generalize in this way. Okay.
1.5. But actually here some irrational number is here.
Now so the random processes are also divided into some specific processes like stationary process, wide sense stationary processes, cyclostationary processes. So we'll see when we say random processes stationary. So you have one random process x, and you say it is stationary if you take any random variable xt, and this delta is actually like any real number, and like it's a time, actually time difference, you can say this time minus this time you will get the delta, so it's some real value. So if the distribution function of this random variable and this random variable are same, then we can talk about this as stationary processes. So we define the definition in proper sense. A continuous time random process xt is a strict sense stationary. In general, if we say here a discrete time, then xn is there. Okay. So a continuous time random process xt is strict sense stationary or simply stationary. So either I say strict sense stationary or simply stationary, both having the same meaning. And here this word is important for all. For all T1, T2 belongs T1, T2, TR belongs to R. So what is R here? R is actually this look like a real set of real number, and it is any index at J. You can take that one also. So T1, T2, TR you have taken, and there is no restriction on R also. This can be R, this can be S, this can be N also. So T1, T2, TN, T1, T2, TR, T1, T2, TP like this. So for all T1, T2, TR, you select from the set of time index or set of real numbers, and another value delta from the set of real number. Then the joint cumulative distribution function of this set of random variable is same as the joint distribution function of this set of random variables. So like T1, Xt2 and TR you have taken an R time instance from the set of number, and for that you are getting the random variable Xt1, Xt2, Xtr. So you are getting one set of random variables. If the distribution function of joint distribution function of this set of random variable is equals to the joint distribution function of this random variable xt1 plus delta comma xt2 plus delta, because if I am adding t1 plus delta, it means it is a different random variable than this. Similarly, it is a different. So this is another set of random variable, and if the joint distribution function of this set of random variable equal to the joint distribution of this set of random variable, then we say that our random process is stationary. So this is the joint. This comparison needs to be done. distribution function of this set of random variable xt1, xt2, xtn, and it is the joint distribution function of the random variable xt1 plus delta, xt2 plus delta, and xtn plus delta. If this is true, then you say that the random process is strict sense stationary or simply stationary, and this should be true for all t1 t2. So this word is important. So if for all t1 t2 it is true, then it is okay. It is strict sense stationary. So we talk about the same definition in terms of the different notation. So a random process xt is said to be stationary or strict sense stationary if for all n and for every set of time instances, like this n can be anything, and ti, t1, t2, tnb can be anything from the time index at capital T, then the joint distribution of this is equal to joint distribution of this. So here this tau is actually delta earlier. So this tau is again a value from the this time index set. So T1 is a random variable, and it is actually x T1 plus tau. Earlier in the previous form of definition, it is delta, this tau. So if we can write in this way for any random process xt, the joint distribution function of the xt1, xt2, xtn is equals to the joint distribution of xt1 plus tau, xt2 plus tau, xtn plus tau. Then you say that the random process is strict sense stationary. So it means the distribution function are same if we change t plus tau, because we are assuming like this, because here we are saying for all n. So if this n can be 1, so like this situation, n can be 2, n can be 3, n can be 4, and n can be anything. So another like a density function. So you can you can interpret this definition in the same way, because this is xt plus tau is the time instance, and so it's a density function of the random variable xt plus tau, and it is the density function of the random variable x tau. So the density function is also same. Then mean function is also same. So earlier mean function like mu xt is the expectation of xt, but here as they are not changing with time, so the mean function is constant. Similarly, this variance is also independent of t for the case of strict sense stationary random processes. Okay, now this weak sense stationary process. So if stationarity condition of the random variable xt does not hold for all n, so this is important. Even though when we talk about weak sense, it means we are talking about order 2. So but hold for some n less than equal to k, where then we say that the random process xt is stationary of order k. So what we are actually saying here, like earlier we are talking about all n. So n can be 1, n can be 2, n can be 3, or n can be any integer you can take, any natural number you can take. But now if we are taking we are saying that the stationary of order k, it means like for n it is true for n less than equal to 3. So that is this n can this t1, t2, t3 we can take from the, like we can take only 3 time instance from the set j. And if we take this k as if we take this k as 5, so like we can take only at maximum 5 time instance from the index set capital J. So If this is true up to certain number, not all, then it is called stationary. Xt is still stationary, but it has order k. So like you can take, if I'm saying k equal to 5, so you can say T1, T2, it's okay, T1, T2, T3, it's okay. Even though T1, T2, T3, T4, T5, it's okay, but it will not true for T1, T2, T3, T4, T5, T6. So that is we are not able to go beyond this. Okay. So then we say that it is stationary of order K. Even though more interest to us in engineering also, like this order 2 only. So xt is set to order 2, then is said to be wide sense stationary. So this is actually important. It's wide sense stationary. So and we denote this by WSSS. And earlier when we are talking about this strict sense stationary, we represent it by triple S. Strict sense stationary. So triple S process. So and this is wide sense stationary WSS. Okay, sometimes some author use the word weak sense stationary also. So WSS, weak sense stationary or wide sense stationary, and triple S means strict sense stationary. Okay, we more specifically define this. So random process xt is weak sense stationary if its mean function mu xt is equals to mu x for all t, and its autocorrelation function or xt1 t2 is a function of the time difference t1 minus t2, and this t1 minus t2 we assume as tau. So this tau, and we use this tau very frequently, and here tau is actually t2 minus t1. So if these two conditions are satisfied by any random process, then we say that the random process is weak sense stationary. So it means if in exam I told you to prove that this random process is weak sense stationary, you have to satisfy these two equations. Oh, sorry, these two conditions. Or you can say this also, but this is actually rarely used. Like expectation of x mean function are same and autocorrelation functions are same. Then we say that our random process is weak sense stationary. This T1 T2 will be represented by this tau, and it means Rx T1 T2 is Rx T1 minus T2 and Rx tau. Okay. So if autocorrelation function is a function becomes a function of time difference T1 minus T2, and mean function is independent of t, if you satisfy these two conditions, then we say that the given random process is a wide sense stationary process. Like a discrete case. Okay. So here we are having n. We are taking two discrete points to n1 and n2 from the z set of integers, and it is again the difference of n1 minus n2. So here actually n1 and 2 is again time. Instead of t, we are taking a variable n, because here we are assuming our process is discrete time random process. So we have one example here. So here in this question, we have given this random process xt, where t belongs to the set of real number, and it is defined by this: xt is equals to cos t plus u, where the randomness in this random process xt is coming from this variable u, and u is defined as uniform. So u is a uniform random variable within the interval 0 to 2 pi, and we have to show that whether it is a wide sense stationary process or not. We have to check that one. So this is the definition of xt, and the randomness in this random process coming from this capital U. So for capital U is a random variable, and it is of uniform type within the interval 0 to 2 pi. So we'll see this. So to prove that xt is wide sense is stationary, we have to check these two conditions. So to first we calculate its mean function. So what is the definition of mean function? It is expectation of xt. Xt means cos t plus u. So we have written cos t plus u. And here u is a uniform 0 to pi. And we know the definition of uniform. If capital U is a uniform random variable within the interval a to b, then its density function is having value 1 upon b minus a, when u lies between a and b and otherwise 0. So here u is lying between 0 to 2 pi, and 1 upon 2 pi minus 0 will give you 1 upon 2 pi. So this part is not given in the exam. Okay, don't think like that. Now I will give only this, that much. This is the question, and this is the answer. Actually, you have to think what you have to do at the time of exam. So it is uniform. That means it is having this kind of density function. So we know the density function of u. Small u is the value taken by the random variable capital U, and this cos t plus u is a function of the random variable capital U, and we know that how to calculate this expectation. That means we have to integrate over the whole domain. So cos t plus u as it is, then multiplied by its density function, and over the domain, integrate over the domain 0 to 2 pi, and this 2 pi will come outside, and integration of cos tu is sin tu, and then you have to substitute lower and upper limit. So when you substitute upper limit, you will get sin t plus 2 pi, and when you substitute lower limit, you will get sin t. But sin t plus 2 pi is again sin t, and then sin t cancel out sin t, and you will get 0. So 0 means it is independent of t. There is no t in the mean function of the random sources xt. So first condition is satisfied. Now we have to check whether its autocorrelation function is a function of time difference or not. So we take two time instants t1 and t2, and we know that the definition of Rx t1 t2 is actually expectation of xt1 and xt2. This is the definition of autocorrelation, if you remember the last or yesterday lecture. And what is xt? Xt is cos t plus u. So xt1 is cos t plus t1 plus u cos t2 plus u. And we know that to simplify this one, we use the formula what we learned in 12th, like cos a plus b is equals to 1 by 2 cos a plus b plus cos a minus b. So we use this formula to these values, and finally we arrive at this simplification. And then we distribute this expectation to each and every term. So here, the first term u is the random variable, so it's like cos t1 plus t2 plus 2u is again a function of the random variable, so it's a random variable. But here there is no u, so it's a constant, and the expectation of constant is same as it is. If you remember the expectation of ax plus bx plus ax plus by plus c, that is actually a expectation of x plus b expectation of y plus c. So that is like c. This is the constant. Okay. So expectation of constant is the same constant, and here this is a function of the random variable u, and you know the density function of u is given by this because u follows the uniform 0 to pi. So we have to integrate 1 upon 2 cos t plus t1, and I think here there should be 2. Some 2 is missing, so you correct it, because the limit of integration is 0 to 2 pi du 1 upon 2 pi is okay. And where is this 1 by 2 gone? So that will also require 1 by 2 is also required, and here this 2u is required, and then you integrate, then this 2 is there, so integration will occur. So after integration, it's like a calculation mistakes. You check from here. It's like a only integration, so you have to do integration, and after integration, you will find that this part is 0, and you will remain with you only this part. And this part is a function of the time difference t1 minus t2. So be careful in the exam. If this question is there, don't copy like this because it's wrong, or you will get 0. So okay, so you have to do calculation by yourself. Okay, so we can say that the given random process is wide sense stationary because its auto correlation function is a function of t1 minus t2, and its mean function is constant, is independent of t. Then we have expected average power concept. So here we know that so this is specific for wide sense stationary process only. First we assume that the process is wide sense stationary. It means its autocorrelation function is a function of time difference, and then we can replace this t1 by t2 by some tau by assuming that tau is equals to t1 minus t2. Thus, for wide sense stationary process, we can write Rx tau equals to expectation of xt and t minus tau. So this you can easily write now, like you know that Rx tau is equals to Rx Rx t1 comma t1 comma t2, and its definition is expectation of x t1 and x t2. So this is the definition. So how you could write from here in terms of tau? You can replace here from here. You can see this t2 can be rewritten as this t1 minus tau from here. T2 can be written as t1 minus tau. So x t1 remain as it is, and this t2 can be replaced by this t1 minus tau, and you will get this form. Similarly, you can remain t2 as it is here, and you can write t1, write t1 like t1 can be written as tau plus t2 from here only. From here again you can write t1 equals to t plus tau. So in this definition you keep this t1 is replaced by t plus t2 and t2 as it is, and then you replace t2 by t or here also. Okay, so we can easily write this autocorrelation function for wide sense stationary processes as Rx tau, and Rx tau is expectation of xt into xt minus tau, or it is expectation of xt plus tau into xt, and this is true only for the case of wide sense stationary processes. Now, if suppose tau equals to 0, so we can get this Rx0 is expectation of xt square. And this one is known as the expected average power in xt at time t. So for wide sense stationary processes, the expected power is not a function of time, because here t is 0. For any t you will calculate like expectation of t, but it turns out to be Rx0. So it's not a function of time. And since xt is, you are calculating an expectation of xt square, so this is positive, And you know that when we are calculating expectation, we multiply this quantity by its probability, and we added our range. But here probabilities are again positive, x square is again positive. So finally this expectation of x square is turned out to be positive. And if expectation of x t whole square is turned out to be positive, it means rxt 0 is always greater than equal to 0. Another fun is that this Rx tau for wide sense stationary processes is a even function of tau. So here you can see that Rx tau, you can try to calculate what is Rx minus tau. So Rx minus tau is equals to xt plus tau. From here you replace tau by minus tau. And you know that xt and xt plus tau is actually Rx tau. So your this autocorrelation function for the case of wide sense stationary processes is an even function of tau. So these are the properties of this autocorrelation function for wide sense stationary processes. Okay. So now we talk about jointly stationary processes. Like earlier we have talked about this xt is a random process, and you have talked about xt in terms of strict sense stationary and xt in terms of wide sense stationary. But if we are having two random processes, one is xt, t belongs to R, and another one is yt, t again belongs to R. And when we say the two random processes are wide sense stationary. So to say the two random process xtt belongs to R and ytt belongs to R is said to be jointly wide sense stationary if xt and yt each wide sense stationary. It means for xt, mean function is constant and its autocorrelation function for xt is again function of time difference. Similarly for yt, the mean function of yt is constant and its autocorrelation function is a function of time difference. And the third property is like that, or cross correlation function of t1 t2, like cross correlation function of time difference between t1 minus t2. So you have to satisfy two property for wide sense stationary for x. Similarly, the two property for wide sense stationary for y. So 2 plus 2 and additional 1. So you have to check 5 properties to test whether the two random processes are jointly wide sense stationary. क्या है? थोड़ा क्लास है 10 मिनट में आ जाओ. Okay, we'll see one problem. Let x be two jointly wide sense random processes. Also and yt and jointly wide sense stationary. Jointly wide sense stationary means these processes. Xt itself wide sense stationary, yt itself wide sense stationary, and xy t1 t2 is a function of rxy t time difference. Okay. So with the available t and yt, we have created another random process zt, and zt is the sum of these two random processes. So now we are having three random processes. One is xt, another is yt, and third one is zt. And now we have to prove that zt is wide sense stationary. So to prove this zt is wide sense stationary, we have to prove the mean function of zt is constant and its autocorrelation function is a function of time difference. So we'll see this. First, whatever is given, we illustrate all of them, like this is xt and yt are jointly wide sense stationary means mean function constant. So we have assumed mu xt mu x mu yt is equals to mu y. and then R1 T2 Rx T1 minus T2 it gives it. And then this is Rxy T1 T2 Rxy T1 minus T2. So up to here it is given as it is that xt and yt are jointly WSS. Now we calculate mean function of zt, and this is actually equals to expectation of zt. And what is zt? Xt plus yt. So we have substituted its value, then we distributed the expectation. What the expectation of it's the mean function of x and mean function of y. Since mu x and mu y are independent of t, so it means mean function of z is also independent of t. Now try to calculate this autocorrelation function of z. So to calculate this autocorrelation function of z, we know that this definition is expectation of zt1 and into zt2. So zt1 means you have to replace t by t1. So xt1 yt1, xt2 yt2, and then you have to multiply them. So after multiplication, you are getting this one. And now again we use the definition of auto correlation function for x, because this is what becomes auto correlation function for x. So Rxt1 T2, but Rxt1 T2 is actually Rxt1 minus T2. So one step ahead. Similarly, it is Rxy T1 T2, but Rxy T1 T2 is actually Rxy T1 minus T2. Similarly, this one and plus this one. So here we can see that this one is a function of time difference. Okay, even for here we are having T1 minus T2 or T2 minus T1 is the same thing, because we have proved that Rx actually even function of the time difference tau. So it means this Rz T1 comma T2 is finally become a function of time difference. So both the condition for while sense stationary are satisfied, and we can say that random process Z is while sense stationary. And that was already shared with you. So now I stop here, and I will take attendance. So wait for a while. Okay.